Welcome to Rankem on C2C Entertainment Network. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host halfway around the world, Primus Tim Hendricks. How you doing, buddy?
After everything happened yesterday, I almost don't want to be halfway around the world. I'd rather be back stateside. Other than that, I'm doing great. Yeah, I I must have missed our open because I think you missed it too because it was like all of a sudden you just jumped right in and I'm like holy hell, we're
Yep,
way
yep,
we're way out of whack today.
yep. No, sorry we've been gone. Happy Easter to everybody that celebrates it. Nothing new. Just a lot of stuff going on. So, but um, just waiting on news for my sister to tell me I'm an uncle again. So that's coming anytime soon. But with that being said, we're getting close to the NFL draft. We're getting close to WrestleMania season, all that fun stuff. So, but today we are going to be doing one of our favorite list birthdays for April. So anybody that has a birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to my uncle who had his birthday on April Fool's Day. So, and anybody else coming up. So with that being said, Tim, let's start with April 2nd. So let's see. Looking at it, I know I might have a curveball. I might have pulled one out of the old Tim Hendricks hat there, but I say we got. I'll say two. I'll start with two.
I like two, maybe three. Yeah, I'm a curveball kind of guy, but that's
Yeah.
that's cool. I like being the curveball kind of guy.
All right. Well, you kick it off.
So I know you and I are about the same age, and when we came home from school, we used to watch a lot of different TV shows, especially along the lines of TBS and TNT. There was always, there was Chips, there was tons of other shows, but there was always this one black and white show that always had this really memorable TV show, and it was always talking about a poor man named Jed. The Beverly Hillbillies. I love the show, even though it was kind of like before our time, and then they remade it with Jim Varney playing Jed Clampett in the movie. But to me, there's only one Jed Clampett. There will always be one Jed Clampett, and my number 5 is Buddy Epson, who was the original Jed Clampett.
All right. No, that's a good one. That's a good one. For me, I'm going to go all the way back in history. You're the history guy. I don't know why I stopped on this guy's name, but it caught my eye. He's the author of 150 plus nursery rhymes and stuff like that. And one being The Ugly Duckling. So mine is Hans Christian Andersen.
The funny thing is I almost put him on this list because he's the one that did the everybody remembers that he's the one that did The Little Mermaid. He's the one that wrote that. So I didn't put him on because I didn't think you were going to put him on, but yeah, that's it's impressive. You took the curveball right out of my hand. That's really nice.
All right. You're number 4.
My number 4, speaking of curveballs, I'm not a fan of this team. I'll never be a fan of this team. Still the greatest day I've ever seen was this thing I ever saw about this team was the fact is they got swept at Tampa Bay, and I watched 2 Yankee fans literally beat the trash out of each other because they got swept by the Tampa Bay Rays, and I thought that was the greatest thing. But you got to respect for what he did. I still think it was a comedy show that he fired Billy Martin 7 times. I half the time I wonder who's the more glutton for punishment at that period of time, but I gotta respect it. I respect what he did, and he's basically I call him the father of the modern day baseball, especially the way how teams go after players and basically damn the torpedoes, we'll pay and pay and pay. And if there's a luxury tax, and they basically made a luxury tax for this guy, they're going to pay it. But I respect what he's done. If you and I both follow teams that are considered small market teams in the Milwaukee Brewers and the Minnesota Twins. If we had guys like this, our teams would have moved and gone broke. But that's okay. My number 4 is the former owner of. He's only former because he's dead. My number 4 is the former owner of the New York Yankees, Hank Steinbrenner.
Yep. Well, I'm going to stay in baseball, but I'm going to go more recent. I'm going to go with Atlanta Braves outfielder Austin Riley. So, you're number 3.
My number 3, a soul singer from the 70s, 70s that everybody. I love his music. It's crazy. One of the more obscure national anthems sang at the NBA All-Star game, still today is considered probably one of the best national anthems in NBA All-Star game history. But then again, if you put it up against Fergie, anything looks like a masterpiece. But he was shot by his dad over some type of disagreement. My number 3 is Marvin Gaye.
Oh, God, at number 3. Oh, my number 3. I think this will be the second automobile manufacturer guy we've had on here. The founder of Chrysler, Walter Chrysler.
Yeah, we won't get. I have this feeling we're not getting my 3. But that's okay. My number 2. I've had the pleasure of meeting after he was basically killed off on Game of Thrones. Probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met. That's in the movie business, in the TV business, become real popular. I know they seem to start cramming him and everything, and he's starting to get that fatigue about him. He's the Mandalorian in The Mandalorian. He's Reed Richards in the Fantastic Four. Just one of a hell of a nice guy, and matter of fact, he's my age. He was born in 75. He's only a couple months older than me. My number 2 is Pedro Pascal.
I saw that one on there. Yeah. My number 2. Now, I don't want to get too political on this one, but we grew up in the age where we saw it live. We saw the writing. It's sad that he's on this list because of this reason, not being more famous for something else. But my number 2 is Rodney King.
I'm gonna break your heart because I've got Rodney King at number 7.
Okay.
But my number 1. Most people who know me know that I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Big Star Wars fan. I'll be honest. I told my wife yesterday, matter of fact, that I'm getting burnt out on Star Wars, which is, I think most people would never see the day where that would happen. But probably the biggest name that was in Star Wars when Star Wars first came out in 1977. I loved him in the movie The Bridge Over the River Kwai. He gave legitimacy to George Lucas's movies, and it's crazy that he didn't want to be in it because he didn't understand it, and he wanted his character to be killed off and never come back after the first movie, and then they turn around and shoehorn him into Empire and Raiders and Return of the Jedi. But my number 1 is Alec Guinness.
I stopped on his name because I saw Guinness. I'm like, oh, is this the creator of the Guinness Book of World Records? But they don't even put him in the S-Stars. They put him in for the Lady Killers and the Bridge of River Kauai. So
Yep.
that's why I'm just like, when you started talking about it, I'm like, who the hell is that? Then you said that. I'm like, oh, it's that guy. Yeah, I almost.
And the funny thing is, in the Lady Killers, the original that he did, he ends up playing Tom Hanks in the remake is the person that's playing Alec Guinness's part in the original.
Okay. Well, my number one. Let's bring out our sponsor, Punch Gunk. This stuff is good. Definitely get out there, reach out. I'll send you the link. But I got you. I got you. You got me at number 3. I got Marvin Gaye at number 1.
I need them to send stuff over here to me so I can do some of that stuff. Holy hell.
Yeah. So yeah, we all got one. So
where did you have Bill Romanowski on your list anywhere?
I did not. I saw the name and so I mean I thought about throwing him on there. He would have took it off the Ugly Duckling, hands, but
yeah.
All right. So let's move on to the 14th. Just a couple days from now, if I do my math correct. Yeah. Let's see, 1, 2. I got a double up.
I got a triple up.
Honestly,
I've got a triple up.
Oh, you got a triple up. Okay. Honestly, I could see the C2C 5 since we got double ups and triple ups.
Yeah. I could see it.
I could see our double up being this. Or you said you had a triple up, so
I could see two of my triple up being your double up.
Okay. I'll go on a limb too and say that our number 1 might be the same.
That's a good possibility. It's a really good possibility.
I'm going to go 4. I'm going to go C2C 4. We might not hit 4, but we'll hit 4 with the double up and triple.
I honestly think we could hit 5. I know. Well, I think I'll give you 4. I'll give you 4 because I don't know if my number 5 is considered a curveball.
I said if we don't hit 5, it's because of either my number 5, my number 3, or my number 2.
Okay.
And I'll start it off. And I hope that you have the same person on your list because I always love to hear your stories of growing up and trips and listening to country music. My number 5 is Loretta Lynn.
Oh my gosh. Well, Punch Gunk, you're going to hear it for the second time today. It's not C2C unless you're sniping, and this sniping has been brought to you by our great friends over at Punch Gunk. My number 5. If you know anything about me, my family grew up, when we were growing up, we used to go on trips all the time, and we listened to country music, and it's amazing that you said that, and one of my mom's favorite artists is your number 5, which is my number 5, Loretta Lynn. I just found out today that one of our favorite artists that we listened to when we were growing up, Ray Stevens, broke his neck.
Really?
Yeah, I just read it.
Well, good luck on recovery for him. I mean,
he's this is the sad thing is he's in his 80s now, so this could be we may be next week having a very tough conversation. Ray Stevens.
I didn't hear that. I didn't see that come up. Yeah, 87 breaks neck in the fall as favorite old new art. Yeah, it's gonna be
a hard conversation next week.
Yeah, it could be. All right. So my number 4, my double up. To me, my one double up, 1B, part of the greatest trio of pitchers on any team. I wish the team could have done better. The other part of that, also part of the same team, but definitely a great right fielder. Nice swing on the left side. I just remember his role being portrayed in Moneyball, where he's sitting in the batting cage and he tells the GM, "You're paying me this amount of money to play, So yeah, I think I'm a stud." And he goes, "No, the Yankees are paying you that amount of money. That's how well they think of you to play against them."
Yeah, that's what they think of you.
My 1A is Greg Maddux. My 1B is Mr. David Justice.
And you're missing and then you'll understand where you're missing one.
Okay.
Same team too.
All right.
But my number 4 probably had one of the greatest female rivalries in WWE alongside Trish Stratus. Absolutely phenomenal. I think she gets brought in to the WWE because of S.A. Rios, if I'm not mistaken. And that's a name, unless you've watched wrestling for ages over ages, may not know who that is, but had a nice little relationship there with Matt Hardy for a while, then had that triple, that adult contented wedding or adult whatever that was. I think they didn't do that much, but I think you actually may have met her. I'm not quite sure.
I was just looking. I have, yes. She was a couple of Grand Slams ago, I did meet her. I do have her card somewhere, but
I think she's better than Trish Stratus. I honestly think she's a lot more extreme. She was a lot more willing to put her body through a lot more than I think Trish did. My number 4 is Amy Dumas, otherwise known as Lita.
I know I have it here.
Oh no, that's my number 3. Wow.
Holy cow, number 3?
I jumped way too far.
All right.
So my number 3 is going to be was going to supposed to be my number 4 now, and my number 4 is going to be my number 3.
All right. Well, I know I have her card somewhere, but anyways, my number 3.
Your number.
I grew up watching her. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. She went on to do other movies.
Who did I miss?
I want to say Thelma, but it's not. And Scooby Doo. I can't think of the other actress or the other character.
Oh, okay. She played Daphne.
Daphne, that's what it was. Yes. But still a looker. Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Mm-hmm.
You're number 3 now.
My new number 3. My new number 3. It's I remember him getting drafted in the NFL and thinking, oh, this guy's got a potential. I remember watching him at Oklahoma and basically pulling off WWE type antics to the sidelines. I think it was to Texas. I thought it was brilliant. Everywhere he went, he just wasn't. I thought he wasn't that good. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets signed by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and just resurrects his career. I'm becoming a big fan of his more and more every year. My new number 3, which was my old number 4, is Baker Mayfield.
I had him and I put him on there, and I'm just like, God, and I go through the list, I'm like, nah, there's more people on here. There she is. I know I had her.
That is awesome.
I knew I had her. Just had to find her. All right. Yeah, no, I had Mayfield on there. So my number 2, well, Punch Gunk, we just showed the card. My number 2 is Lita.
Well, we got to double up here with Punch Gunk again for my number 2. This is where my triple up is. There's a reason why I feel you're missing one, because I've got Greg Maddux, I've got David Justice, but there was a 4th member of the Atlanta Braves pitching staff that is probably the lesser known of the 5, because I think at the time it was Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Mark Wohlers, and then my number 4, my 2C at this point, Steve Avery.
Oh, he was born on.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have definitely had him on there because I mean that trio that they had and whoever at number 4 or 5.
Avery was at 4 and Wohlers was at 5.
Yep. Yeah, no, they definitely should have won a lot more than they did. And I think a lot of sports fans, baseball fans can agree that love them or hate them, they should have won more games.
They should have easily.
My number.
I consider the Atlanta Braves almost at that point in the year that at the same time, because you got to remember the Buffalo Bills was doing the exact same thing as the Atlanta Braves were doing, except the Braves actually won a World Series.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, Buffalo Bills 0-4 in 4 straight Super Bowls. The Braves, 1-4 in the World Series? I mean, something like that. They should have won more. I mean, but my number 1, probably going to go into the Hall of Fame in a year or 2. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to see it. The all-time hits leader, Charlie Hustle himself, Mr. Pete Rose.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's in the Hall of Fame now, but just not the one where he's in. But my number 1, Punch Gunk is going to love us for this one. My number 1 is your number 1. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame, so but he got to see that. But you're right. I think MLB did him dirty. I think it's dirty that they basically pardoned him after he died, and I think that's a sick, stupid move on their part.
Well, and the thing is you want to write him off, but yet you still used his highlights from the All-Star game when he just laid out the catch. You still call him Charlie Hustle. You still talked about him as the all-time hits leader. You did all this, but yet you still wouldn't let him in. Yeah, honestly, as a fan, and I hope the family's listening, I would deny the Hall of Fame.
I would too. The thing is, and the other thing that bothers me, you banned him. Why didn't at this point just erase his records? You want to sit there on top of it and take it as a great achievements, and then you decided to basically write him off. You might as well wrote off all of his career stats too at that point too.
No.
That's gonna be
I totally agree. So, well, we got 5 if you count the double up. So I mean, we did the C2C 5 out of 5, I guess. So not the immaculate 5 that we've only done once, but let's move on to the 18th. This one I have a first for us. So
do you?
I actually got a couple firsts for us on these lists here. Let's see.
I can see 3 at best.
I can see 2 or 3. I was leaning towards 2. So I'll go with 2, you go with 3. There's a little chance maybe 4, but we'll see. I think we won't get our number 1. My number 1 is our first, so but all right, so let's go with your number 5.
My number 5 is a bit of a curveball, and I remember my childhood days, and I remember going to different places and doing garage sales and yard sales and seeing all these games, and going to St. Vinny's and seeing all these games and types of things that would always be there. And my brother and I always wanted every one of them that we could get a hold of. And I remember going to St. Vinny's and see a toss across, or going to a garage sale or a rummage sale and seeing a Light Bright, or probably the greatest game in my time, Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Yep.
I thought these three are the big highlights of my childhood, and I thought they were absolutely brilliant. My number 5 is the creator of all 3 of them, Burt Mayer.
Good call. Good curveball there. My number 5, late night host, actor, I guess, somewhat of a comedian. I threw him on here, just because of the name. I'm not a big fan of his, but Conan O'Brien.
One-time writer of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. Oh God, why do I always put people from Florida State on my list is beyond me. I have absolutely nothing but respect for this linebacker that went to Florida State and played for Tampa Bay. I'm absolutely happy that he won a Super Bowl under Gruden with the Buccaneers. I respect what he does. I wore his number in high school before he wore his number in the pros, so he stole from me. So I say that with all joking aside, but my number 5 and is in the Hall of Fame. I double checked and I had to look. My number 5 is the linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Derek Brooks.
Yeah, I had him there, moved him down. My number 4, another young actress, grew up watching, one of those probably, top 10 in my eyes. She was in not Buffy. What was the other witch movie TV show?
Charmed.
No. Sabrina Teenage Witch. She also had a show with her and Joey Lawrence. Melissa Joey. My number 4 is Melissa Joan Hart.
Big WWE fan too, from what I've seen.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I know this one's not on here, so this is a curveball to you. My number 3, I want to give a shout out to my nephew Andrew Roberts. He's
not on my list.
He's not on my list either. But he was born on the 6th. So, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten into Doctor Who. Huge fan of this actor after I watched Doctor Who. I've watched just about everything he's done. But he will always be known in most people in this group of people as the 10th Doctor. My number 3 is David Tennant.
Okay, yeah, that was a little bit curveball. My number 3, we jump into the ring. Played Knuckleball Schwartz, played, I think, the little stint as Doink the Clown. No more for the Brooklyn Brawler. One, Steve Lombardi. I can't pronounce his last name.
Lombardozzi?
The Brooklyn Brawler.
Well, Punch Gunk. My number 2, Punch Gunk, is going to love me now at this moment. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 2 is your number 5. I like Conan O'Brien. He's funny. I respect what he does.
I respect what he does too.
He's not always my cup of tea, but I like it. Some of his stuff is funny, and lately, some of his stuff that he does on his podcast is brilliant. So, yeah, he's my number 2.
My number 2, to me, is the GOAT of what he does. And a lot of people have come out starting to do what he does. One being America's Got Talent, had 2 of them, which a girl, Terry Fader, does a great job, and so does the little girl that does a great job. But to me, Jeff Dunham is the GOAT of ventriloquist. That's my number 2, one Jeff Dunham. Your number 1.
My number 1. There was a TV show back in the late 70s, early 80s that produced people along the lines of John Candy, Eugene Levy, Dave Thomas, Catherine O'Hara, who passed away the last couple months. Martin Short. I love SCTV. I thought SCTV was brilliant. My number one was one half of the McKenzie brothers, and if you ever watch Strange Brew, absolutely one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. This is a group of Canadians, I think, out of Toronto. But we all remember him from being the father in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, being Lord Helmet in Spaceballs, and we are finally this year going to be getting the sequel to Spaceballs. I am absolutely jacked for it. I've been waiting for it for 20 plus years. I'm all for it. My number one is the nice little accountant from Ghostbusters himself, Rick Moranis.
Yeah, that one. I'm excited for Spaceballs too, but I'm not. I just cannot hold it that it's going to be that funny like Spaceballs was. Because
I have this feeling. They've got John Candy's kid coming back to play the son of Barf.
Yep.
And I'm hoping for it. They got Bill Paxton's kid, or not Bill Paxton, Bill Pullman's kid coming in to play friggin' Lone Star's kid, but Bill Pullman's supposed to be in it. They brought in pretty much everybody from the original cast.
They tried to bring in everybody, yeah. So it's gonna be good, but it's just the way the world is today. I don't think that they're going to be able to pull off some of their.
Yeah, I have a bad feeling it's not gonna sit well, but I don't care. I have that crazy warped sense of humor, and I think it's going to hit square between my eyes. I think it's going to be brilliant.
I hope so. My number one is a first for us for this show, for this list. I had the first he's not the first, but for some reason I just put him on there because I'm just like, hey, we never had one. FBI agent / Soviet spy.
I saw that one too.
Chicago, Illinois' own Robert Hansen.
I saw that one too. I'm going, God, that seems like something that I would put on. I really would.
Yeah. So we only got one. We're playing like the Twins here. So.
Oh yeah, we're not playing like the Brewers, except we hit Wilson. But I'm not trying to hit Wilson Contreras.
Yeah. My number. We are on the 20th now for birthdays. This one could be. This one, I don't think we'll get less than 2. I could see 5. I could see 4 more, unless you got a curveball. But
I don't know. I might. That's the sad thing is I don't know half the time. I'm going to tell you right now. My number 6. It was hard to keep him on the list, keep him off the list, but again, it's going to be tough. I don't know. You might have him on your list because. There was this quote in Harry Potter where Ollivander says he did great things, terrible things, but he did great things. And I'm thinking, I can't put him on.
So we'll see. So I'll go 3. I have a feeling my number 1 is going to be either your 2 or 1.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I kind of think 3's possible.
All right. Well, I brought him up on the other list with just the last list with Melissa Joan Hart. He played in God dang it, Melissa and Joey. He played in Blossom. He had a one-hit wonder song that everybody was just thriving over. He started a couple of movies with his brothers. He's got the woo. Definitely, I think a lot of people said that growing up. One, Joey Lawrence.
Sometimes way too
and
much.
Actually, their podcast is actually pretty good.
Yeah, their podcast is pretty cool.
Yeah. Your number 5.
My number 5. I don't get too many opportunities. I made the comment about Florida State. I'm always putting Florida State people on my list. I finally can say I can put a Florida Gator on my list. The first Heisman Trophy winner, played for the San Francisco 49ers, plus a couple other teams. But the best thing is he was the greatest head coach to ever coach in the USFL. I thought he was brilliant there, and then he went to Florida and got us a national championship. I can't argue that. My number 5 is Steve Spurrier himself.
All right. I don't have him on the list.
Yeah.
My number 4 is probably, we talk about heartthrobs. This actor, probably on a lot of ladies' list. I know I saw a comedy skit with Matt Rife that he showed up and got on stage with them. I think he's from NYPD Blue. I could be wrong, but he does like some of those cop shows. One, Shamar Moore.
Oh, you kidding? No, he wasn't an NYPD Blue. Matter of fact, my wife and I are watching. Em and I are watching Criminal Minds, and he's in Criminal Minds. He's in
Minds. That's what it is. Yeah.
He's in SWAT too. I've stopped watching SWAT because I haven't picked it up. Oh man, you did Shamar Moore. Oh, I saw that. I didn't put him on.
Number 4.
Golly, my number 4. I did go with an actor. I went. The guy is basically the king of being CGI'd in every movie he's in. Basically, nobody sees the guy's face unless you got lucky enough to see him in 13 going on 30, or he's the ship captain in King Kong, or he plays Ulysses Claw in Black Panther. But everybody remembers him playing King Kong in King Kong, matter of fact. But everybody remembers him. His most famous role is playing Smeagol in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. He's right now, as a matter of fact, he's directing the next Lord of the Rings, The Search for Gollum. My number 4, I think this guy's brilliant. He's one of my favorite actors. I would love to meet him, hopefully one of these days before it's too late. My number 4 is Andy Serkis.
Cool last name. My number 3, another, I guess, MTV heartthrob. I guess you put her there. I think she had a run-in relationship with one Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
I got Carmen Electra.
Yeah, she had that brief little fling marriage that she had with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Who's going into the WWE Hall of Fame in a week.
Who is going to? Yes, he is going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Your number 3.
My number 3. I have his rookie card from 1984, 84 Topps rookie card. I think he always had the run in with Hank Steinbrenner of all people. No, he had a problem with George Steinbrenner. That was the big problem. He always had. See, I got George and Hank confused all the way up on the first day. But him and George Steinbrenner are always talking about he always had to cut his hair. That was the running joke from the Simpsons episode where they brought him in as the ringer for the power plants softball team. I played first base for a little bit in slow pitch softball. Nothing like this guy. I still don't think he's in the Hall of Fame, which I think is completely ridiculous. But I absolutely I'm humbled if I ever got to meet him. I'm a big fan of him, even though he played for the Yankees. My number 3 is Don Mattingly.
He is not in the Hall of Fame.
That sucks. I'm going to tell you that right now. Donnie Baseball needs to be.
Donnie Baseball does need to be in the Hall of Fame. That is 100% correct. My number 2.
It's Kevin. It's Kevin. It's Kevin Cherry.
He's in Cherry?
He's in the chat.
Oh, what's up, Kevin? How you doing, bud? My number 2, and I think this is the guy you alluded to before we started this list. I had a hard time putting him on the list, but I had a hard time not having him on the list. and again, it's a politic thing. But again, if you're a history guy, you know the background and stuff. I got Adolf Hitler.
Yep, he's my number 6.
You're number 2.
My number 2. I am going to pull a card out of the Brandon Herrera hometown heroes playbook.
Ooh, who did I miss?
And there's a person, which is funny because she was in King Kong, but she wasn't in that King Kong. She was in the King Kong in the 70s with Jeff Bridges. I like this. I like this version, but I also she's had that career resurgence in American Horror Story. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing this Minnesota city name right, but Cloquet, Minnesota.
Okay.
My number 2 is Jessica Lange.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, great.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. All right, my number 1.
She had the big one. She had the big thing too.
She had the big thing too. Oh, there she is, right there. Croquet, Wisconsin. Yeah, I don't know why, or Minnesota. Yeah, I don't know why I did not put her on there. I guess the Minnesota part didn't catch me. But my number 1, what can you say about this guy's voice? Soul singer.
Oh no.
Endless Love, Dancing with My Father, whatever else he's done. This guy, he touches it, becomes gold. I got Luther Vandross.
Bro, can we? Holy hell, we're gonna get skunked like the Twins.
Wow.
We're getting shut the hell out like the Chicago White Sox. My number 1 is not a snipe. I hope you have fun in Vegas because I
hope you do too.
Hope you bring a lot of money because it's going to be expensive, and that's not even going into the casino. My number 1, if you're a Star Trek fan, you kind of know where I'm heading with this. I'm kind of one of those Star Wars, Star Trek fans. I'm one of those who straddle the fence on both sides in that one because I like both.
But you're not allowed to.
I'm not allowed to. I get that. If you're a Star Trek fan, you can't be a Star Wars fan. If you're a Star Wars fan, you can't be a Star Trek fan. Somebody should have told that to J.J. Abrams when he ended up making a movie for both. But my number 1, you were talking about a voice, and I'm thinking, yes, he's going to do it. And then you said the word soul singer, and I went, nope. I've never heard this guy sing in my entire life. The original Sulu in Star Trek, my number 1 is George Takei.
Gotcha. Yeah, we got skunked.
Yeah,
we got the old for five.
Gunk got skunked.
We went the Aaron Judge of opening day, 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts.
Gunk got skunked on.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the 22nd of April. This one I'm going to solid 3. I think we're going to get 3. I got 2 that are there. One's probably going to be a curveball. The other one, if you saw the name, you might have thrown them out there. But I would say my top 3 are going to be in some order on yours.
Somewhere, yeah, I could say your top 3 is going to be in some order on mine.
Yeah. Well, what do you say? 2, 3, 4?
I'll say 3.
You'll say 3? Okay. I'm going to start with the comedian lady.
Yeah, we're starting bad.
She was on The View, and I want to say she did a game show.
Really bad.
But mine is Sherry Shepherd.
I'm going to start off really bad.
All right.
Was that a curveball? Was that a curveball?
That was a curveball, yeah.
Okay. My number 5. I'm former. I want to say he was a former teammate of Aaron Rodgers for a bit in college. I always thought this was weird that there's this hidden rumor that the Buffalo Bills almost traded this guy to the Green Bay Packers, and then something fell through, and he ended up going to the Seattle Seahawks. Probably to me, arguably, probably one of the greatest. Before I get quoted wrong, one of the greatest running plays in probably Seattle Seahawks history. The one that basically started an earthquake coming out of Seattle. But what I remember him for is his interaction with the press at, let's say, a Super Bowl, as in, I'm only here so I don't get fined, and his sideline snacks of eating Skittles. I can't argue with this. This is a guy that every fat guy wants to be, because he can run, he can have snack foods, and he gets a Super Bowl.
Had a heck of a mean stiff arm.
Oh, he's got that stiff arm up there with.
If I remember right, there's a video of him like stiff arming somebody, throwing him to the
same. It's in the same run. It's in the same run that he basically throws Tracy Porter to the ground. But I think he's a hell of a running back. And when I heard that he could have possibly gone to Green Bay when Buffalo was shopping him, and it's still that rumor in the dark recesses of Green Bay Packer fans, but I think everybody heard it. But my number 5 is Marshawn Lynch.
Yep. Oh. My number 4, another funny guy. You see him mostly on Whose Line Is It Anyway with Drew Carey in the newer version. He did some cameos and had actually a pretty good run on 2.5 Men. I know he's been in some other things, but one Ryan Stiles.
Really? I missed him?
Yeah.
Okay, we might have problems. We're definitely going to have problems with 4.
You're number 4.
My number 4. There's another guy I want to meet, because he was in a couple things that I absolutely enjoy. Between Game of Thrones, or not Game of Thrones. Oh my God, he's never been in Game of Thrones. Walking Dead, Supernatural. He's been in here. This is how weird it gets for me. He was in Grey's Anatomy like the first couple seasons. Dies on Grey's Anatomy, which makes it even better. My number 4, and is a Seattle Seahawks fan. Actually has raised the 12th man flag in Seattle. My number 4 is Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Okay. All right. My number 3. Let's bring out Punch Gunk here. We talked about him. The running back from the Seattle Seahawks, Buffalo Bills, rumored to be in the Packer, Marshawn Lynch.
I'm like, Marshawn.
Your number 3.
My number 3. Man, my number 3. We're not going to talk about what could have possibly happened this morning for me, last night for the rest of the world, because of, if it wasn't for my number 3, that could have possibly would have been not an answer. I know everybody's thinking you didn't put Adolf Hitler on the list, but you're going to put this guy on the list. But Nagasaki and Hiroshima would agree that he's would think that he's public enemy number 1 over there. But they made a movie. I think I thought it was a brilliant movie, and that Christopher Nolan had done 3 years ago. The awards that it won was well deserved. My number 3 is the father of the atomic bomb, Robert Oppenheimer.
Gotcha. My number 2, hopefully we got a Tim Hendricks story coming up here. Good country singer, died a few years ago, I believe. I know they were doing tributes while he was still alive, and it was just rough seeing him try to play the guitar and lip sync to his songs. One, Glenn Campbell.
He had Alzheimer's.
I know.
And it sucked. It was tough to watch. So we're gonna pull this. This is a bad pun. We're gonna pull the plug on this one quick. It's for Punch Gunk. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 2 is. Did you say was your number 2?
Yep.
Number 2. My number 2 is your number 2. Glenn Campbell. It's another one I absolutely loved. What is golly? What was the Wichita Lineman? To me, the greatest. I think one of the greatest country songs ever. It's got one of the greatest lines ever that I've ever heard, and it's like I want you more than I need you, and I need you for all time. I think that is probably one of the. It's a love song, but it's about a guy who's just going through, doing all these things. As being away from home because he's working on the power lines in Wichita, Kansas. Probably one of the greatest songwriters in country music history. I absolutely think he's underrated. I'm so happy that he got his flowers when he was still alive. I thought most people don't get that lucky, and for him to get that lucky, it's a blessing. And I'm glad he got that before he had passed away.
Yeah. My number 1, the second guy that I can remember that all he did was wear black when he was a big name, especially at Laker games.
Thank God. Like you said, black.
So, my guy that I really hate the most tried to become him, and I'm glad he didn't. And it was a big slap in the face to this guy, but great actor. Probably one of the best Jokers, I think, in the recent Batman movies, and maybe of all time, Jack Nicholson.
As soon as you said the guy that dresses all in black, I'm like, wait, when did the hell I miss Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
But Punch Gunk, I'm forever your servant. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 1 is your number 1. To me, Jack Nicholson, for the long to hear some of the stories about Jack Nicholson in the 70s, especially when he did Easy Rider, it kind of scares you thinking, oh, everybody looks up to him as an actor. And I'm like, how is he sober enough half the time to do this stuff as an actor?
Yeah, no kidding.
But brilliant. I still think his best work is The Departed. I will go to my grave thinking that his best work is The Departed.
Yeah, you're probably not right. I mean, that's something we could probably debate here in a list or something, so that was it. So let's move on to the 25th. This one, I got another first, and I might have a slight curveball there. But I'm going to go 3.
I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'll take your 3. I like your 3.
All right. Well, let's kick it off.
My number 5. For the longest time, the 90s Dallas Cowboys, Bacon's going to love this. He watches his bag. He's going to love what I'm going to say here. A lot of us feared the defensive backfield for the Dallas Cowboys, and it wasn't because of Deion Sanders. As much as a Deion Sanders fan I was, the only constant in the backfield, the defensive backfield, was my number 5. I really wish he would have played for some other team so I could actually be a bigger fan of his, because I didn't want to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. The only thing would have been worse if he would have been a New England Patriot, and that would have just been horrible. Yeah. My number 5 is Darren Woodson.
I know that's a good defensive back. My number 5, and I know this is a first for us at C2C to make a list. And honestly, I put him on there just the fact of the sport that he plays, if you want to call it a sport.
It's a sport. It's a sport.
It is darts.
Oh no, you didn't.
My number 5 is Michael Van Grenwick.
He's not the first. He's not the first dart person. You've had a dart person on before.
Did we have a dart person on before?
You
Okay.
did. You had a dart person on before.
Okay.
I thought you went some other direction.
Oh, okay. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. Outside of any player, I'm going to ask this question. Outside of any player in the NBA, who is the most hated person in the NBA?
Well, LeBron for sure.
No,
I mean,
outside of that, outside of the player.
Outside the NBA. Oh, yeah, I almost put him on my list. I can't think of his name now. Go ahead.
My number 4 is the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver.
Yep. I almost put him on the list too. My number 4.
Here comes that curveball.
Is a voice actor.
Not the curveball.
Mainly for The Simpsons, I believe. He does.
Oh, I saw that on there.
He does Officer Wiggum. He does Mo. He does a couple other guys. He does it very well. Hank Azaria. Okay.
Yeah, I saw that one on the list too, and I'm like, I'm going to tell you why you brought up Darson, and I'm going to tell you why I screwed up. My number 3. It's kind of funny because you put on. It's weird that I picked 2 days, and one day had a car manufacturer, founder of a car manufacturer. I find the other one. My number 3 is the founder of Chevrolet.
Oh,
and my number 3 is Arthur Chevrolet.
That is the one. My number 3.
Here it comes.
One half of the Twin Towers in San Antonio. Yeah, what can you say about this guy? The fundamental should be probably the coach of the Spurs here. I know if he wants the job. I think he was an assistant for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But my number 3 is Tim Duncan.
I swear, at this point, and for when we first started, I was the guy doing all the sniping. Now it seems like the shoes on the other foot, the coins on the other side, because Punch Gunk is gonna love this. It's not sniping unless you're sniping. My number 2 is your number 3, Tim Duncan, the big fundamental.
Yeah. My number 2, the voice of. I know his dad was a big voice, and maybe it's the same guy. I just was looking at the age. But when it comes to sports, you think of this guy in big moments. One, Joe Buck.
Who am I thinking? No, I can't do Joe Buck. Joe Buck's the one. Joe Buck's is the mushmouth that works with Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Jack Buck. Jack Buck Jack is the.
Once you said Aikman, I'm like, oh yeah. So, all right, your number 1.
My number 1. Golly, I honestly don't like this actor, but you got to respect him for what he's done. I'm not a I'm going to say this now. I'm not a Godfather fan. Never have been. I don't like any of the 3 movies. This could get us canceled. I'm not a Scarface fan. Really can't stand Scarface. One movie that I absolutely love, and it's not because of him or De Niro, it's because of Kilmer, is Heat. And they're making a sequel. They're making a prequel to that. I'm all about it. But my number 1 is Al Pacino, which is funny because Brandon T. Jackson's character in Tropic Thunder was named Alpo Chino.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, my number 1 is your number 1. I like him. I mean, yeah, I'm not a big fan of the movie that you have, but he's a good actor. But yeah, Al Pacino.
I gotta. When you said we don't normally do this, and I'm like, okay, what's he got? And then he says it's a sport. If you can call it a sport. Wait, when is the Harlem Globetrotters not a sport? Because I had Meadowlark Lemon at 7.
Oh,
and then I had Gladys Presley. I had Elvis's mom at 6.
Ooh, that would be a good one. Let's move to the 29th, and then before we get to our blind five. This one, I would say our top two better be the same. In some kind of order.
I could,
but I'm gonna go three though.
I could see four. This is a sad thing. I could see four.
Well, we'll see, because my number five, kind of a throw in because I couldn't see anybody else name that really jumped out at me. I'm not a big rap guy, but I love music. That's, if you follow this show, me and Tim talk about our hookup, where we met in the nightclub in Michigan, Iron Mountain, called Night Moves. I probably played a couple of his songs, but my number five is Master P.
No, Master P was a big one when we first started hanging out.
Okay.
Master P got big like in 97, 98.
Okay. Your number five.
My number five, I'm not a tennis fan, but I remember back in the late 80s, early 90s that, everybody, I remember anybody who played tennis wanted to be this guy, and they tried to dress up, and he had the bright colors, and everybody wanted to be him, and he was the one that was putting a brand new face to tennis between him and Pete Sampras. And yet I say I'm not a big fan of tennis, but yet I know who these players are. But he had these bright colors, big flashy hair in the 90s. And then came around and married Steffi Graf. And I think that's hilarious. And it's like they corner the market on great tennis players. My number five is Andre Agassi.
Good one. I missed that one. My number four, I've watched the TV show. I'm not a fan of his comic ability, especially when he opens up his TV show doing a little stand-up routine. I never found him funny. I found the rest of his cast funny. But I got Jerry Seinfeld.
Yep, not a fan. Not a fan of the show. I think I may have watched 4 complete episodes. So, hey, Punch Gunk, I said it before. Brandon's been sniping me all day. As I turn around, it's like sniper, no country at this point. But my number 4 is your number 4, Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah. My number 3, actress. This is probably the list I've had the most women on, unless we've done an actual women's list. Actress, very lovely.
You said that way too loud in a full chest, man.
Yeah. Number 3, she got her star in one of her key roles in Grease 2.
Scarface.
One, Michelle Pfeiffer.
Scarface, Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scarface, and I said I just didn't like Scarface.
Your number 3.
My number 3. Let me double check who I got at number 3. Oh, I've got this little thing down here saying happy birthday to Boo Roberts. Boo Roberts is my brother-in-law, so I want to wish him a happy birthday. But there's another reason why I say this, because my brother-in-law, probably the greatest older brother that I've ever had, because I don't have older brothers, is a big NASCAR fan. And before he had gone to Daytona, I want to say 10 years ago, when he took my sister and my 2 nephews, the last time he was in Daytona was on this terrible day. He was a huge fan of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s father. A lot of people think that he's one of the greatest of all times. I'm not going to be the guy to argue with that. I think he was brilliant. I remember coming home from work and watching Sports Center and felt like I got kicked in the face. I felt like I got hit by a car when I saw Sports Center after it had happened, and Bill France came out and said that we had lost a legend today. And I sat down and felt like I had gotten every last bit of wind knocked out of me. My number 3 apropos, I put him at number 3. Is number 3 himself, Dale Earnhardt?
Well, let's bring out Punch Gunk. Let's bring out the Snipe. It's not C2C. And you want to talk about a number that should be retired.
Oh, God, without a question.
And honestly, I think not just the number 3 should be retired, but the design of the number 3 that Dale Earnhardt used.
I agree with that, but the DEI design of the number 3 is the design of every number that DEI puts on their cars, so they would have to redo all their cars.
Well, no, and I get that, but and the drivers now that use the number 3 and use that design,
right?
I know you're paying respect, but I think it's a number that should be retired. But I do have Dale Earnhardt at number 2.
I completely agree that he should be. It should be completely. It shouldn't be erased, but it should never be used again. I think I absolutely agree with that. So that's all your right. Number 2. Okay. My number 2. My number 2 is a double up. Didn't tell you I had a double up. Kind of kept that one on the secret. But my 2B, I'll give you as a Punch Gunk special, as a snipe, because I have Michelle Pfeiffer at number 2B. But I've got a double up. I think my 2A, I think is probably the greatest actor of all time. Between Gangs of New York, There Will Be Blood, The Last of the Mohicans. What else was there? Lincoln. I think this guy, My Left Foot. I think everything he does is absolutely brilliant. And then all of a sudden you find out that he is retired from acting. He hasn't been in a movie in like 5 years because he's done. An absolute Oscar standout. My number 2A is Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, okay. No, he was a good actor. My number 1.
Go ahead. You're going to tell
everybody's number 1. Probably the second most celebrity guy to be known to smoke it up whenever he wants and not get in trouble. I saw this guy live at the first outdoor show at Treasure Island Resort Casino. And I told my wife, and I told a couple people, I'm not a big user, or I haven't ever smoked it, but if this guy offered me one, just long, also if Snoop did too, I'm not turning it down.
And
but this is Willie Nelson, number 1.
Yeah, go ahead, Punch Gunk. Go ahead, throw it up there because my number 1 is your number 1. I completely agree. Here's the funny thing is when I went to and I love Willie Nelson. To me, Willie Nelson is so long. I think the only person that can do Georgia on my mind outside of Ray Charles was Willie Nelson. I think it's brilliant. I absolutely agree with you. If Willie Nelson were to ever ask me to light up, I'd have no problems. The funny thing is, I was on Instagram and I had sent Snoop Dogg a message saying, I'd love to see you. I'm going to be at Santa Giulia at the Italian-Sweden hockey match. Find out he was across the way at a different hockey match.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, oh, I would love it. My wife's like, you'll never come. I don't care if he doesn't come or not. But I just want to say, hey, I'm an American. I want to see it. Come on over. I do whatever you want.
Yep. No, that's our list. Now we go into our favorite blind 5. Again, if you guys don't watch the show or forget about it, we each pick a category. The other one doesn't know. We try to rank them and try to, I guess, stump or just make a fool of ourselves. One of the two. So, Tim, I'll let you go first. What is your topic for me?
I sat and thought one day, and I'm looking at these going. I watch a lot of YouTube videos and thinking about when people when they do video games and they talk about putting players on their teams, their current teams, what their teams were when they got drafted, or they had their most success with. and they put them back on those teams with their prime. So I thought of this. I'm going to give you 5 players, and we're going to put them back on their teams that made them big and superstar, and put them on their prime. And I want you to rank them for
the team that they got drafted by, or
no, because one of them didn't get drafted by them.
Okay.
So, but I'm going to start off. But you're going to get them at their prime, and you're going to put them on today's roster.
Today's roster, okay.
And I can tell you 2 of them will help one of your teams right now. The first one I'm going to give you the easy one. I'm going to give you all day Adrian Peterson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Put him on the Vikings today. I mean, I got him at number 2. I mean, yeah, that would help definitely the passing game. You know, again, does the offensive line hold up? I mean, how bad? But AP can run through a lot. So, yeah, I'll put him at number 2.
Well, we'll continue with your Minnesota Vikings and say Randy Moss.
God. Him and Jetta together, Hawkinson. That's got to be number 1. I'm sorry. If you got anybody else, I'm sorry, but to put Randy Moss with Jetta and at that case, you could have Kevin Hartthrow be the quarterback and not see the offensive line and just chuck it up there. So, yeah, I'm going Moss 1.
All right, so you got 1 and 2 fished out already. Kevin Garnett.
Oh, yeah. That's number 3. I'm going Kevin Garnett with this young team. And honestly, I would get rid – if I could do this, I would get rid of Garnett, or I would keep Garnett. I would get rid of Gobert, and I would put Naz Reid as a starter. You know, so yeah, Wolves number 3, Kevin Garnett.
Jack Morris.
Oh, God, you're just really killing me here. Well, let's go with to me, he's pitched the best game 7. The guy, to be able to give him the ball every 5 days and know that he's going to give me 6-7 innings consistently. Yeah, I'm putting him at number 4 with the Twins.
You want to take a guess who number 5 is?
Let's see. You're either going to go. You're going to put Puckett on there, aren't you? Puckett?
Your number 5 is Kirby Puckett.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, I mean, Moss definitely would be number 2. I think that would help. Puckett, yeah, I would have put at number 2. Just the fact that, yeah, he I should have known that you were going to do that, but Peterson, I mean, the thing is Puckett would have helped a lot with that leadership. I mean, so overall, not too upset with the list. So,
okay.
All right. My list for you, and kind of debated this at work one day, and I'm just like, I'll try it. Overrated actors. And I will tell you that I went and I got what they're listed at on what website did I go to? IBD or IMDb.
IMDb.com. I love that site. That is my favorite. It's one of my favorite sites of all time.
The 40. I picked 5, but the list I went off of was the 40th most overrated actors of all time.
Oh God, I hope I didn't put any on my list today.
No, I don't think we got any. I'm going to start off with the guy you met.
Oh God,
and you told him that he was going to play Aquaman.
Oh my gosh.
John Mimosa.
Jason Momoa, huh?
Jason Momoa, yep.
I don't think he's overrated. I think he's got the pick. I think
and overrated number 1. If you don't think he's overrated, 5. So the most overrated guy is going to be number 1. Okay.
I think the problem is that most people think he's overrated was because after he got Aquaman, he got shoehorned into everything.
Mm-hmm.
I still, if you want to watch a great series, great show, there's a one with Dave Bautista and Jason Momoa called The Wrecking Crew on Prime. I think it's hilarious. I think it's brilliant. I think he's oversaturated. I don't think he's overrated. The guy made my dad absolutely happy. He can't do no wrong to me. I'm going to say 4, just because you might slap me in the face with another one, like something like Jack Black or something.
Nah, Black's not on there.
Okay, good.
And by the way, they had him ranked at 17.
Oh, that's not that bad.
George Clooney.
Oh, God. I think he's overrated. I think he's personally way overrated. Hell, my wife thinks he's overrated, and she watched ER. She can't stand him. And I completely agree with her. He's still the worst Batman to date.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Yeah, I'm going to put him number 1. You could put Adolf Hitler on there as the most overrated actor, and I still think he's worse. I still think he's better than Clooney.
Yeah. They have him ranked at number 12.
Ooh, so I'm not bad. Okay,
nope.
Cool.
Justin Timberlake.
We're talking just as an actor.
Just as an actor.
He's not. If you watch Alpha Male or Alpha Dog, he's not bad. If you watched him in, what was it? He did one other one. He wasn't really that bad. The thing is, he's smart enough not to go in there and try to do everything.
Nope.
Huge. I'll say 3.
They have him ranked at 24.
Yeah.
2 behind John Wayne.
Oh, they said John Wayne was
22nd.
John Wayne is not overrated. Holy hell.
Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, damn it. I think he's no. This one's. I don't care what number 5 is. I'm sticking with this. I think Ashton Kutcher is way overrated. I think he's completely overrated.
Well, he's at number 2.
At number 2, he's right behind. I mean, he should be a real close behind Clooney on that list too.
He is number 3.
Can't argue with that one.
You're number 5.
Number 5.
And number 9 on the list of overrated actors, top 40 of all time.
Tom Cruise.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Is it weird that I'd push Jane? I'd put Momo. I'd put him at 3. I honestly would. I think he's good. Don't get me wrong, but again, they oversaturate him. They cram him down the road.
He is. I don't think he's overrated. I got him at 5 too. Yeah. So some of the other ones here, just looking at number 1, Adam Driver.
No. Oh God, no. Not even close.
Yep, they got him at number 1.
Wow.
Number 2, Anthony Mackie from The Hurt Locker.
Oh no.
Ashton Kutcher at 3. Austin Butler at 4, playing Elvis.
Yeah, no, he was good as Elvis, but yeah.
Benedict
Cumberpickle. Benedict Cumberpickle, yeah.
Oh.
He's
Chris Hemsworth at 6.
Who the? I'm gonna get canceled if I say the next words out of my mouth. Who in the world voted this?
Chris Pratt at number 7.
I can see that one. I can see.
Oh, you did have one on here. Daniel Day-Lewis at number 8.
Oh, who in the bloody hell?
He's not even. They got him in there for the There Will Be Blood.
There Will Be Blood. No.
Dwayne Johnson for Black Adam.
That was a terrible movie.
To round out your number 10, Eddie Redmayne.
Eddie Redmayne?
Yeah. All right. So George Clooney at 12, just some of the other names. Harry Styles at 14.
Bump that number up.
Let's see here. Momoa at 17. Jim Perkins.
Momoa's ahead of Harry Styles?
He's behind Harry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. Jay Bonigi for Star Wars number 7. Number 7.
Oh, Boyega. Yeah, Jonathan Boyega. John Boyega. Yeah.
John Cena at number 21.
I think he needs to be higher.
John Wayne at number 22.
That's crazy.
Michael Key at number 25.
That's crazy. He's brilliant.
Kevin Hart at 26.
He's getting to that point.
Yep. Let's see here. Michael B. Jordan at 29.
Somebody needs to choke this guy.
They got it for Black Panther because, I mean, he's awesome in Creed. I didn't watch Black Panther.
He was awesome in Sinners, dude. If you get a chance, watch Sinners. He won the Oscar for Sinners.
Orlando Bloom for 31 at 31.
For what?
Lord of the Rings.
Jeez. Okay.
Ryan Reynolds for Deep Pool 2 at 35.
He's not over. He's just oversaturated.
Here's a guy that might flip you one. At number 36, Steven Seagal.
He needs to be way higher. He needs to be, and part of my French, a shit ton higher. That's the guy. That guy believes too much in his own smoke.
At 39 for Guardian of the Galaxy, Vin Diesel.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's absolutely especially the Fast and Furious movies. He's getting there.
Yeah. At number 40, writer, director, actor, Woody Allen.
As an actor, yeah, he's way overrated. But as a director and a writer, brilliant. Yeah. One of the greatest, brilliant minds in Hollywood ever. But as an actor, he's terrible.
Well, here's another list that I almost went with too. Vastly underrated male actors from the same website. Number 1, Ryan Reynolds. Number 2, Ice Cube.
What?
Number 3, Channing Tatum, which I will agree with. I like him. The guy can dance, but his acting skills are.
They must not have liked 21 Jump Street.
That's the one they put him on for. Number 4, Patrick Stewart for Logan.
Oh, come on. Okay.
Number 5, Mr. Will Smith.
Will Smith. He's getting there.
But they put him in for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as mostly massively overrated male actor. Number 6, Shia LaBeouf for Honey Boy. Number 7, they got John Wayne at number 7 on this list for True Grit.
True Grit's a masterpiece.
Number 8, Chris Pratt. James Franco for Spring Breakers. Number 10, Vin Diesel.
See, you can't argue.
Number 11, Clooney. This one I'm kind of upset about. Number 12, Zac Efron. I think the guy is awesome.
I think he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
He's gotten a whole hell of a lot better.
At number 17, James Dean.
Really?
Number 18 from Castaway, Tom Hanks.
No, but no who in the world has ever said that?
This guy is definitely way overacted. Number 21, Nick Cannon.
Yeah. You see him in Drumline, you can understand it.
I actually did like Drumline though.
It can be good, but I think the supporting cast really helped with that movie.
Number 29, Danny Wahlberg.
Donnie's a good actor.
Number 32, I think you'll agree that he was a good actor. Paul Walker.
He was good. I loved him in The Skulls. I think him and Skulls and Varsity Blues, I think, are brilliant.
Oh, this one's number 38, John Travolta. and they got him in Pulp Fiction for this list.
I don't. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Chris O'Donnell for Batman and Forever at 45.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one. That one was the only thing worse would have been Batman and Robin with Clooney. Holy hell.
Yeah, that's what they have him in Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin, yeah, him and Clooney.
Yeah.
I'm surprised at least Arnold Schwarzenegger hasn't hit that list in a couple times.
Yeah. Well, I was looking to see if my favorite fun actor that I can't stand was on there, and he's not on either list. So
who's that?
Titanic kid.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, that guy. And the sad thing is, like I said, I loved him in Growing Pains. I thought he was a very good actor.
I brought this. My Em and I have this conversation about. She hates DiCaprio too, so don't feel so bad. And I'm like, he should have won.
I don't feel bad.
I'm like, so don't feel bad. She hates him too. And I said, I want you to think about it. He should have won the Oscar for The Departed, but yet he wins he wins the Oscar for a movie where basically he's alive in it for like 11 minutes. That means the Academy Awards even told you that he's not that great. He plays a better unconscious guy than he does a guy who's alive.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. So, all right, guys. Well, we went over. We owed you guys a little bit. That's one thing with us. We miss out. You guys don't miss out. We'll give you a little extra. Tim, final thoughts.
I love IMDb.com, but I'm going to try to figure out who the hell sent that. I love these things because, and the funny thing is, I think we've only got like 2 or 3 days left in this April for birthday, so we're going to have to really do our homework for. Well, you know what? I might give a little clue. We might be doing some WrestleMania stuff next week because WrestleMania is next week. I'm not sure what I'm going to compile, but I'm going to make sure that, in honor of WrestleMania, we're going to do something WrestleMania-like. Outside of that, I wish my brother-in-law Boo a happy birthday today. My nephew Andrew my nephew Andrew, my cousin Gabriel, and my uncle Randy, all 3 had birthdays on the 6th. Hopefully your sister finally pops out her kid. I think, but hey, I know how long it takes for a kid to pop out because my granddaughter thought it'd take a nice, long, sweet natured time to get to this world too. So we know it takes a long time. Yep. I'm getting all ready. And for everybody who doesn't know that I've been watching, I gotten the chance to start watching the WWE again on Netflix. So I'm really getting into it. And, I don't want to see Danhausen here because I don't want to be cursed either. I'm at first I didn't like it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I can kind of get into it. And if I'm going to make a premonition now, I'm going to make a little bit of a projection, or I think he gets this. I think he honestly gets a WrestleMania match, and I think he gets it against The Miz.
God, I hope not. God.
I like him, but I can understand where people think he's cringe, and I get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
He reminds me of Santino Marella with face paint.
Yeah. So with that being said, my final thoughts is keep checking us out. Keep checking out C2C. I know they're bringing back some shows. I saw Sportsman a couple of times with the Barber Brothers, Entertainment Hour.
Right, we got the little code up there in the corner. The little logo.
Yep. So keep watching them. Check me out on Tuesdays on Vikings United with Bubba Sparks and Coach Cody and some guests. Check me out Saturday or Sunday with Bubba and a couple guests for 789, our baseball show. We'll be coming back this week after Easter. With that being said, we'll see y'all next week, hopefully on Rankem. Have a good one.